Hello there, I'm the Biz Manager and welcome back to Space Engineers. Now, today we have a problem to solve, a very big problem. If you recall, last episode we built this thing. This thing is supposed to be our flying vehicle retrieval system. We should be able to land on this vehicle and then use this vehicle to transport the flying vehicle all the way into its appropriate hangar, right? But unfortunately, as we figured out last episode, this thing doesn't work. Well, it works kinda sometimes, almost never. But the problem is, well, the wheels are not fitting in the rails as I thought they would. I thought they were going to drop in here and behave like train tracks, but that was not to be. Oh well, it happens sometimes. But I have a solution that involves a bunch of pistons. We are going to deconstruct these guiding wheels, and then that connector over there. We are going to proceed said destruction by making a ginormous hole in the wall somewhere around here. And we are going to stick 1 billion pistons inside of the mountain. Those pistons are going to attach via a rotor. Oh, try not to kill yourself, Base Manager. To the vehicle. We are going to build a rotor head, a small grid rotor head on the vehicle, and a large grid rotor on the piston, and we are going to attach them together, essentially connecting this vehicle to the main grid. Then the piston should do the job of keeping the vehicle inside of the tracks, and should also do the propulsion job for it, which means we are going to turn off all of these wheels, and this thing are just going to be pretty much, well, a shell. These batteries don't need to be in there. We don't need the wheels to provide any power. Pretty much we don't need anything from this, other than you know, it's hangar space. But yeah, that is a less elegant solution, but at the same time it is a solution that I am almost certain is going to work. So given that I have to do this by hand, I better get started on drilling a ginormous hole. Well, my friends, it took me a minute, but I think this is a ginormous freaking hole. Just look at this. You can clearly see that I did all of this by hand, as due to the irregularities in the mining, but I think this is deep enough. I have built this thingy more just to guide me, to tell me which direction I should keep on mining and to keep count, because, well, I counted all of the blocks from this one all the way over here to this one, plus these 4 over here, and that is an extension of 44 blocks, right? We need to extend enough pistons that we get 44 blocks of movement. Well, I went to my elevator over there and I noticed that each piston has a maximum reach of 6 blocks, but you have to count the 2 blocks which the piston is made of. However, if we discount those 2 blocks, that means 4 blocks extension. If my math is correct, and as you can see it never is, but I'll have to trust it because it's the only math that I have, that means that I need 11 pistons. 11 pistons is 22 blocks. I made this with 27 blocks so that I can fit 2 additional pistons plus the rotor that is going to be on top of the block, on top of the piston, and I want to have 2 additional pistons just in case my math is wrong, as you know. We clearly can see that it often is, so adding a little bit extra I don't think is going to hurt us too much. I also made sure to clear enough space so the piston can move without, well, without colliding with anything. Or at least that's my hope. Now I have to set up a bunch of pistons, extend them, and see if my theory was correct. Well, my friends, let me tell you, this is looking absolutely disgusting. Look how much this is wobbling. I'm pretty sure once we do the shear inertia tension, this is going to go away, but This is absolutely disgusting, the amount of pistons that we have over here. Holy Jesus. Okay. I suppose that it is time to weld them all now. This is going to be just great. I have to go all the way to my to the entrance of my base to fetch materials, so I can only imagine the amount of trips that I will have to do. Alright, my friends, so I welded all of the pistons. I renamed them all to Piston T, just to help us out. And I placed them all on inertia, in shear inertia, which means they shouldn't be wobbling anymore. Now it is time for us to extend this over here. Now, unfortunately, I don't have a control panel anywhere close. I mean, I have this one, but it is not connected to the main grid. Okay, let me just slap a control panel over there quickly. Alright, control panel in place. Let's go over here and go like piston T. Let's select the rainbow rainbow piston. It's okay. It's funny how the game just provided us with a such a broad palette of colors. Piston E. Now we know what that group does. Let's see. Let's set them up to go at minus 0.1, at least for now. They are all in inertia, share inertia tensor. Now, I don't want to extend them all to their maximum because I think we have more pistons than we need. So let's go for 8 meters for now, and here we go. Hopefully this is not going to explode in 1,000 bits. It's kinda nice watching all the pistons go at once. Now I have a control panel over here. Should I need to do any adjustments? Now I just have to patiently follow this all the way to the trolley. Okay. Maybe 8 meters is that bit too much. That bit too much. 6. Stop. Okay. Oof. That was close. Yeah, it would appear that we do have enough extension. In fact, even more than we need. Nice. I like this. I like the way this is going. Now, this is going to be a little bit finicky. But right now we are at 6.8, so let's select this and give it 7 meters. This is going to extend just a little bit more. Oh, damn it, it's not just one piston. It's the entire group that I want. There it goes. All of you are extended at 7 meters now? 7 meters, let me just confirm 2 of them. I don't need to see them all. Yep. Okay, now I'm going to adjust these pistons meter by meter until we have an almost connection. Okay, so just give me a moment. Okay, 8 meters is a little bit too much apparently. Okay, 8 meters. More than enough. Let's maybe retract this a little bit. Maybe to, I don't know, 7.8, okay? Please. Yeah, I'm just retracting this one, right? Yeah, right. Typical. In any case, we now have a well, I now know where to add the small rotor head. I almost managed to throw this off the rails. That was funny, but okay. Let's grind this down. Now, unfortunately, because this got a little bit misaligned, I don't think we are going to get lucky. Rotor part small. Go. Let me see. I think I have enough stuff on me to weld that. Maybe I'm going to be able to snap it. Here. Let's drop it to 7.5 for now. And let's reverse this one. Where is the reverse? It's right there. 7.5 is not enough. Oh, wait, it's still going. It stopped. Okay, let's give it a little bit more. Yeah, there is a major misalignment between the part and the rotor. Ah, that sucks. That absolutely sucks. Okay. Measures will have to be taken into place. I'm thinking about grabbing the Firefly and trying to scoot this into place gently. At least in a gentler than I just put the piston against the trolley, right? Let's do that. Okay, here we go, here we go. Let's try to grab the Firefly, the trolley. Here we go. We have attached. Let's get out of this view. Let's see. I'm touching that part, so I need to go a little bit over this side. Come on. I went a little bit more. A little bit more. Let's give it a shot now. It is more center. Let's see. Will it attach now? Well, yes, it did attach. It didn't like it too much, but it did attach. Firefly, your job is complete. Let go. Cool. Okay. Oof. That was a little bit sketchy, but in the end, we got it right. So let me just park the Firefly now. Alright, my friends, the Firefly is parked, although I left the lights on. Let's not do that. That consumes power needlessly. Now, after inspecting the positioning, I would say it's almost perfect. Almost perfect. Nice. Let's try to use the pistons to retract this. However, let me just double check one thing. The rotor was not sticking out over here, which means those tiny stubby little legs, they have to go. These thingies over here. The rest can stay, but these stubby little legs, they can't. Alright, my friends, I destroyed the stubby little legs. I assigned these 3 buttons. This one is pistons on off, retract so that we go into the cavern, and extend so that we come out of the cavern. Now there is just one final thing that I want to do. I want to come over here, piston T, maximum distance is going to be 8 meters for all, and the minimum distance is going to be 0.1. Just out of safety, I don't want this thing colliding with the existing wall over there. But let's test it out. So if I press this, a little bit wonky, but okay. It's going. It's going. It's wonky for us if we stay in there, but not for the thing. Okay. And I'm pretty sure these things are also not helping. But oh well. Oh wait, I probably have the parking brake on. That's probably what it is. Platform wheels. Where do I see if the parking brake is on? Well, if it is on, I'm not going to be on forever. No, I like to hear that sound of the wheels going. When do you intend on stopping, may I ask? So yeah, now would probably be about right. Yeah, cool. It kind of works, kinda. I just need to set up a few extra things like the minimum distance so that we don't collide, but we still get ourselves aligned with this parking spot over here. You know, a few things like that. I also need to see if these wheels are actually with the parking brake on, if they are doing anything that is not helping out. I also am going to ouch! Okay, I'm also going to deconstruct these stubby little things. They are no longer necessary. The piston is all that we need to keep the thing on track. So these things can go now. They are probably just in the way. Oh my god, guys, let me tell you, this is so freaking cool. It still wobbles a little bit from my perspective within the trolley, but if I go outside it doesn't appear to be wobbling. I deconstructed all the stumps and all of that, so shouldn't have any more problems. And yeah, it is fixed, my friends. It is finally freaking fixed. I cannot believe this, to be honest. Yeah, when it comes to a stop, we have this, once again, a little bit of wobbling, but what can we do, right? What can we do? It's better to have it like this than not have it work not having it work anyway. Okay, so now I have to figure out what to do next in this build, like for example start welding the platforms where the ships are going to stay at, so that I can start thinking about how much more room we are going to need, and well, where should I build the crane system to take the vehicles from the trolley into their specific parking spots. Guys, do you want to see something odd? Just look at the trolley. I place a block and that thing moves, and it does a weird noise. First I was like, bro, do I have a loose frame somewhere around here that is colliding with the blocks that are on voxel? That's kind of weird. I don't understand what's going on. And then I noticed this thing doing its tiny little jump. Well, my friends, if you allow me to say, this is a lot of blocks. Jesus! Definitely a job for the weldy. I just need to produce 8 quadrillion plates so that I can put them in the weldy to bring them over here. I am unsure if one journey is going to be enough, one load, but I'm going to do my best. Yeah. Let me go fetch that vehicle and charge it with a bunch of plates. With 8,000 plates on board, I'm pretty sure this is going to be a good haul to take and weld all of that. I am unsure if we are going to run out of battery or plates first. But in any case, it is time for me to put this ginormous thing in the lift and gently and very carefully bring it to the construction site. Okay, so with the weldy outside, which was somewhat difficult because this thing is super heavy, Jesus, we now have a welding capability and 8,000 plates of inventory to mess with. So I think I'm going to start by welding pretty much everything that I can, and then I'm going to park next to the trolley and use the crane and welding head to weld most of those tiny little blocks. That way I don't have to do them by hand. And that's usually far better than spending like 3 hours welding all of those small grid blocks. Alright, my friends, I can call this welding session a success. With the welding vehicle, I was able to weld not only almost the entire platform. We have a block here missing here and there, not exactly anything major, but I also managed to weld most of this platform with just these few chunks here and there missing, and a couple of blocks that I clearly have missed. So yeah, and this was actually pretty fast, by the way, guys. And let's check the supply of plates that we have left. Just over 1,000 plates. So my math on the amount of plates that we were going to need was actually almost spot on. Perfect. I'm thinking just using these plates to manually weld these few blocks that the welding could not reach, and then I'm going to park it on its parking spot because it deserves a nice rest after what it just did, and then we are going to proceed by what should we do next? I don't know. I think I'm going to try and figure out maybe the logistic systems for the platforms. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Okay, my friends, so after welding all of the missing blocks, I added a coat of paint, not for aesthetical purposes, but for me to know where things are. This way I know that, you know, every single one of these squares is a parking spot, and this is going to stay this color because, well, it's not advisable for someone to be walking in here, right? If a vehicle is being transported, you are about to be run over, so yeah. Not a good idea. Also, I painted this weird thing on the platform. This is just to help me out finding the center of the platform, because right now is just, you know, otherwise it would be a giant gray slab. And as you are approaching with the camera pointing down, you start to lose perspective of where you are, and this should help me out quite a lot. Now, I'm going to grab the Firefly, I'm going to land it on the platform, and we are going to be doing some more testing. Now we are going to be testing if the system is capable of pulling the Firefly in, and then I kinda want to have the Firefly in place so that I can figure out the height of the crane to pull it in, and you know, all of those things. So time for me to grab the Firefly over here without crashing into it. That would not be a good idea, right? We turn on the engines, we unlock, and there we go. It shouldn't be too difficult to land. The camera down, we press the camera number once again to have the crosshair centered. We point the crosshair towards the center of that thing. Let me just double check that I'm not going to crash against anything. That doesn't appear to be the case, so here we go. Now we just try to gently land the Firefly, and we should about to have touchdown in a moment. There we go. Ouch, 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 ouch. A lot of sparks going all over the place, but in any case, we have landed the Firefly. Beautiful. Let's check around it. Everything seems perfect. And as you can see, don't walk on these lines unless you want to get a mouth full of Firefly. But yeah, now that the Firefly is parked and the engines are off, we can, I believe it is this one. Here we go. Pulling the Firefly in. Oh, wait. Turn this off. Before we do anything, I might, you know, there might be a tiny little bit of voxel that I can't see. You know, those that tend to stay behind after you mine a whole bunch of things. Let me just save the game. Because if one of those tiny little bits of voxel, you know, collide with the Firefly is going to explode in a 1,000 bits. Okay, so the pistons, you know, they can. It's a little bit wobbly. Let's fiddle around a little bit with the piston group, shall we? Let's see. Let's give it a little bit more force. Maybe not that much. Maybe not into the reds. See if... Nah, that doesn't appear to improve anything. Yeah, let's just reset these values back to their initial values. Okay, well, doesn't appear it's a lack of force, more like we have a bajillion pistons, and the forces are kinda redonkulous, right? Okay, so let's say we want to align with that platform right there. Close it off. Right, we have a good alignment right here. Or maybe I went a little bit too much. Let's retract it. It would appear that it is not possible to align up this according to the blocks themselves. The parking spot is one block larger than the platform. But that's okay, that's okay. We just want to have the Firefly around to see what kind of space we have to work with. We don't have a lot of space, but we have more than enough. Because the idea would be, well, I will have to mine a little bit more first, but the idea would be something like we would have a crane right here. Come on. One goes into the voxel. We would start the crane with a hinge. We need to complete the hinge. No, I think I can fit a piston over here. I think I can. So pretty much it would be a piston, a hinge, and then I mean a hinge, a piston, then another hinge, and then a magnetic plate. Right? The hinge would point the piston that way. We would extend the piston, use the hinge to drop the magnetic plate to the downwards position. Then we would use that hinge to drop the piston slightly. The second hinge would not have any forces applied to it. It would be there just to provide movement. We would drop the hinge just slightly until the magnetic plate touches the Firefly. We then proceed to unlock the Firefly from the platform, and then we do everything in reverse. We lift off the crane, retract the piston, and let go of the Firefly into a connector that is going to be ready to receive it once it arrives. However, I will have to go grab the monstrosity because we need to dig out a fair chunk of terrain, because this is the spot for the Firefly. The crane should be somewhere deeper, so that the magnetic plate position, once the piston is retracted, aligns somewhat with the parking spot, and that way we should be able to align the Firefly with the connector over there. So yeah, guess time to go grab the monstrosity now. Oh, by the way, guys, just one quick tip. Should you try to replicate the monstrosity, I did a little bit finagling with the suspension strength. If we go over here, we can see that this suspension strength is at 15%, and this one over here is at 5%. The reason for that is quite simple. While going up ramps, this ramp is always a little bit complicated, but we'll be able to exemplify right now. You see that? You see the middle wheel flexing? Well, before I did that adjustment, usually I would get one of the wheels in the air before the monstrosity would flip and grip the floor again. That's a little bit on the unstable side. But the other day I was watching the History Channel. They have this thingy called Top 10, where they analyze, like, you know, warfare machines or construction machines, stuff like that, you know, and then they give you a top 10. And one of the machines was like, I believe it was top 10 warfare support vehicles or something like that, and one of the vehicles was like a 8-wheeler or 16-wheeler or something like that. Something with a lot of wheels, and the engineer was explaining that the middle wheels actually had a softer suspension just to allow to the vehicle to go over obstacles better. And once I saw this, I think to myself, huh, I really need to implement that on the monstrosity. So with that in mind, Thank you, History Channel. You taught me something else. Rather, you taught me something that wasn't that the pyramids were built by aliens. But with all of that in mind, guys, I now have a little bit of drilling session to do. It's nothing too major. I just need like maybe 3 or 4 blocks more space, and it should be more than enough. So I think this is a good enough amount of material removed. That is going to give us enough space to build that prototype crane. A lot of things are prototype and they are staying permanent with just a few modifications here and there, right? Like the trolley, which was a prototype and now is 100% complete. Now, for this, I need to think a little bit about this. I probably will have to do some end drilling somewhere around here just to fit the piston without having it collide with the ceiling. So, the idea would be something like this, right? I modified my crane idea. We are going to be working with pistons instead of hinges. I think it's just it's more precise because using the hinge to drop down the crane would be, shall we say, maybe a little bit finicky, because as you drop down, right, your angle, well, doesn't exactly maintain itself aligned, right? As you are dropping down, the plate is also moving this way, so we might end up missing the target. With this, is far more simpler to do what I am thinking on doing. We extend that piston just a little bit. We'll have to dig out by hand a path so that the piston doesn't collide with the voxel. Then we will extend these 2 pistons over the Firefly. We connect on it, and we bring it all the way over here, where we are going to have this connector ready for it. Now, I am unsure if the Firefly is going to be able to connect to this thing, because, well, there is ginormous gap between the 2 connectors. Almost a full block, small grid full block, right? If we cannot attach the Firefly to that connector, the idea would be ripping out all of this floor, which is made by half blocks, and we would turn the half blocks upside down, and that would give us the height that we need to connect the Firefly to the connector. However, I would rather not do that, as it would ruin the driving surface of this thing, and if at all possible I would like to avoid that, because I'm pretty sure we'll be driving some of our vehicles through here to do other tasks in the future, so there is always that to take into consideration as well. But with that in mind, oh, there is one final thing that I must do in order to simplify our lives. I'm going to make a button right here on the Firefly, and this button, it's going to be connected to the landing gear, and it's going to tell the landing gear to unlock. That way I don't have to hop inside of the cockpit to toggle the parking brake off. I just press that button and then operate the crane normally. Okie dokie, so everything is welded, even the button, and is already set up. The only thing that I have left to set up completely is these pistons, especially this one. This one over here, the max extension on this one is going to be like, at first we are going to give it like 1 meter of maximum distance, and then I'm going to increase that slowly over time until we reach a good height. As you can see, I dug out quite the tunnel, so that should give us more than enough height. Well, it would appear that my math strikes again. God damn it, we are 2 blocks short. Oh well, that means 1 more piston, which means sending this 2 more blocks over here, and a lot of, well, grinding and welding for me, so, well, at least it's not going to be that difficult, right? Because as I grind, I can weld things back together. So it's actually going to be a rather quick fix. It's just that I will have to also dig out a little bit more terrain to feed in the new piston and crane. But in any case, I think that 2 meters, which is the extension on this piston, is more than enough. As we can see, we are well above the Firefly, and then all we have to do is, you know, retract that piston, and that is going to put the magnetic plate somewhere around here. At least that is the objective, to grab the Firefly from this cross-section over here, which is... oh, it's not exactly on top of the connector. Huh. Well, the objective is to grab the Firefly and try to put it over here. I probably will have to finagle a little bit with the trolley until I get the Firefly in its correct position. But first I have a little bit of grinding and welding to do, so if you excuse me. Okay, my friends, here we go for attempt number 2, now with 3 piston. Something exploded. Not over here. If I don't pay attention, it might be over here. But yeah, now with 3 pistons, we'll be able to reach the position that we are looking for. It would appear that today's theme has been every time there is a problem, we just throw a couple of pistons at it. Oh well. It is what it is. I don't mind too much, because pistons are always fun. Well, my friends, I think this is as aligned as we are ever going to get. It is on top of the Firefly and on top of the connector, just to figure a little bit with the trolley to get this alignment as perfect as possible. Now, what should be the distance that I'm going to drop this? I don't want to crush the Firefly, so I'm going to go 1 meter at a time, once again. Oh well, it would appear that we have to build something on the Firefly for the magnetic plate to attach. It's missing by 1 block, damn it. Always so close and yet so far. But it's almost there, guys, it's almost there. Let's reverse this, put this back over here. I believe I have a couple of blades on me. Yes, I do. Let me just color match them. There we go. 1 block higher than it was. Let's go over here. I definitely have to build a button for this, obviously. This is just temporary. There we go. It is attached, as we can see. Now I do this. Okay. It auto locks. Okay. That's not good. No bueno. That's no bueno. I will have to turn off the auto lock from the landing gears for this. In fact, what I can do is just go over here, groups, landing gears. Instead of having that one, which is toggle block on off, I go auto lock on off. Done. And we turn this off. Press that. Shouldn't lock ever again, right? We then will press the button to reverse this. It is wobbling a little bit. Shear inertia tensor probably should be on. But I'm going to do that once I drop the Firefly. Yeah, that's probably a better idea. Then I just need to revert all of these pistons. And reverse you as well. You should have a minimum distance... 2 blocks. Or in this case 2 meters. And reverse as well. And... oh my god, it's almost there. Almost there, guys. We would then reverse this. But unfortunately, it would appear that we can't lock. We still a few... that sucks. I will have to bring the connector upwards a little bit. Or what I can do, I can build a rotor, an advanced rotor, switch from a large grid to small grid, which is going to have the rotor aligned with this block, and then we build a small grid connector on top of the advanced rotor, which is going to give us the half block height that we need. Cool, I think I'm going to do that. Alright my friends, test number 2. Let's just revert this piston. I had to remove the firefly out of the way, otherwise it would not allow me to place the piston. That's perfectly fine. We can now bring the firefly once again. Hopefully I aligned the trolley correctly. We'll see. We'll see. Oh, fan-freaking-tastic, guys. Look at this. It is not... It is crooked, but technically speaking, it is connected. We could now let go of that plate, right? And retract the crane if we so choose. But given that this is going to be an individual crane, I don't think there is a point in doing that. It will just be additional effort on our part every time we want to remove the firefly out of here. But look at this, guy. The firefly, it is parked within its parking spot in our underground hangar. I am super excited. Things were not exactly going our way, but slowly and steadily we figured out a way out of this mess. And now everything is working. So I'm just going to unlock this, put the firefly back into the trolley, and remove the firefly out of here, because soon I will have to go mine for more materials. And having the firefly outside usually helps out a lot, because let me tell you, the firefly monstrosity combo has just been fan-freaking-tastic. They pretty much allow me to go anywhere in the vicinity and grab resources quite easily. What's this? And yeah, I'm like, sometimes I'm so fast that my refineries are still processing the previous load of materials that I brought, so I'm pretty happy with those two vehicles. Well, my friends, I think that this moment deserves a commemoration, and for that I built a button panel. And because I was also tired of doing everything by build vision and control panel and whatnot, I also added an additional button and some displays over here to let us know what each button does. This one is to switch the locks, and this one is to engage the auto lock. Reason for that is we now want the firefly to auto-lock itself. As we can see, it is now blue, right? So we go over here. This piston takes care of that. The button number 1 takes care of that piston. It's the revert, so if we press it, it either goes up or down, right? And there we go. We have touchdown over there. Button number 4 switches the lock on the magnetic plate. Now we reverse this once again. There we go. And this button reverses the 3 pistons right there. And with it, we can control this crane. We even have an extra button that we can then assign to this connector right here to switch the lock on-off as well. But for now, this is very temporary. I didn't even weld most of the stuff down there. It was just for testing purposes, and I would say that the crane, firefly and trolley all have successfully passed all of their tests. But oh well, my friends, I think this episode is now long enough. But before we go, there is a couple of things that I would like to address and talk to you guys about. First is to do with the amount of space that we... Really? Thank you. Is the amount of space that we have over here. My imagination is just going crazy, and I think I won't be able to resist it. I will have to connect this bottom floor with the parking spot that we have, and then we are going to cover this with a bunch of plates, and then we are going to create more parking spots right here. We have these junctions over here for our flying vehicles. We can put a couple of Indias over here and create more connections. I think more parking spot is always a good idea. That's what I'm thinking about doing with all of this extra space that we have available to us. And then I'm going to replicate it on this side as well, but that is probably something long-term instead of just focusing an entire episode on it. And yeah, this is the plan for the future. Our hangar is almost in a complete state. I think we can manage it in the next episode, but anything else other than this will be done over time, slowly but steadily. Also, I would like to address the issue, not really an issue, but today was supposed to be an oxygen not included day, but truth be told, I kinda just recorded this episode after I edited the other one. I'm a little bit of a stubborn person. When I have a problem, I have a lot of troubles giving up on it. So I was like, I'm not going to be able to sleep thinking about this shit. I just have to do it and get over it. You know, I went through so much effort to build this, and that was not working. I just could not resist. I had to fix it immediately. So that's why I probably didn't even took into consideration some of your suggestions, guys. I just could not resist it. And that means that this episode is ready to go, and you guys are going to have a Space Engineers episode sooner than you were probably expecting. But with all of that said, guys, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode and that you are enjoying the series so far. If you are, please consider subscribing and help the channel grow. But in the meantime, this is the Base Manager signing out. Bye bye!